Hey everyone, ready to spice things up a bit?
I think we could all use a little more spice in our lives,
All
right?
right, so today we're diving deep into Brazilian Carnival.
Oh, I love Carnival.
Yeah, me too. But we're going beyond the typical touristy stuff, okay? Like, forget those postcards with the crazy costumes
Right.
and the feathers. We're digging into the history, the culture.
The real deal.
Exactly, the real deal.
I'm excited.
Me too. Okay, so our sources, they paint this fascinating picture of Carnival's roots going all the way back to colonial Brazil.
Okay.
Think like grand balls, European influence, that whole scene.
Yeah, I see.
But then things get really interesting when you add,
Like even more interesting.
way more interesting, when you add in the African and indigenous influences.
Oh, wow. So it's like a fusion from the get-go.
It really is like a cultural recipe that's been simmering for centuries.
That's a great way to put it.
Those early European celebrations, those were just the base. But then, when African slaves arrive, you see Samba emerging in Rio's black communities.
Wow.
And Samba is like pure resilience. It's joy in the face of unimaginable hardship.
It's powerful.
So powerful, right?
Yeah.
And as Brazil itself evolved, so did Carnival. It became this amazing blend of traditions, a true melting pot.
Makes sense. It's like the celebration reflects the country itself.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, but let's talk about the eccentricity of it all, like the costumes, the energy, that feeling that for a few days.
Anything goes.
Literally anything goes.
Yeah.
How does that all fit in?
So Carnival becomes a social phenomenon, right? It's like a giant release valve.
A release valve.
Yeah, for society. People step outside those norms.
Oh,
They shed inhibitions, embrace pure fantasy.
it's like a collective.
And the costumes, oh my gosh, the costumes are just,
I know. They're insane.
they're incredible. We're not talking Halloween store-bought stuff here.
No way.
These are like insanely extravagant, sometimes downright absurd.
People become mythical creatures, historical figures, sometimes even walking, talking political statements.
Oh, that's interesting.
It's wild. It's like the entire country transforms into a massive stage.
And everyone's got a role to play.
Exactly. And what's really cool is how, during Carnival, all those lines that usually divide people, social, political, economic,
They blur, yeah.
they blur, yeah. Like, they
Yeah.
don't even matter.
It's like this temporary leveling of the playing field, you know?
Everyone, no matter their background, gets caught up in the celebration.
The energy is just so contagious, the music so unifying. For a few days, everyone's just
It's beautiful.
it really is.
Okay, so let's talk Samba. You can't talk about Carnival without talking about Samba.
Oh, absolutely.
It's more than just music,
Way
right?
more.
It's like a story,
Like history,
a voice.
all of that. You think about these iconic samba schools like Rio de Janeiro, Salvador,
Oh, yeah, those are institutions.
institutions. They spend the entire year crafting these performances.
I can't even imagine the work that goes into it.
It's incredible. They pour their heart and soul into these elaborate displays of music, visual storytelling.
And let's not forget the competition. These Samba school parades are legendary, each school going all out.
Oh, yeah. They're going for the gold.
Those dazzling floats, those incredible costumes.
And there's rhythms.
Oh, the rhythms are just, you can't help but move.
It's a rivalry, sure, but it's also a celebration of, like, pure passion and creativity.
And it's inspiring, really.
And what's really fascinating is how the samba lyrics often go deep.
Deep.
They tackle political corruption, social inequality, you know.
Whoa, so it's not all just fun and games.
Oh, no, it's much deeper than that. They weave in historical references, too, all while keeping that energy, that beat that keeps everyone moving.
So it's not just escapism.
All right.
It's using this huge platform to speak truth to power.
Exactly. To make people think, maybe even spark change.
And they do it so creatively. It's incredible.
Right. It's not just about shouting slogans. It's about weaving these complex messages into the music, the costumes, the floats.
It's art with a message.
Powerful art.
But before we get too lost in the Rio scene, I want to make sure we explore the full scope of Carnival, because
It's not just Rio, right?
it's not just Rio. Our sources make it clear that this party takes on different forms throughout Brazil.
Different regions, different vibes.
We're talking regional flavors, different rhythms, a whole tapestry of traditions.
I love that.
Like, thinking Carnival is just, Rio is like saying pizza is just pepperoni.
Aha. I like that analogy.
Each region puts its own spin on things. Like, take Recife, for example.
Okay, Recife.
Their carnival is all about this frenetic energy called frevo. This dance with crazy footwork, dazzling costume.
Sounds intense.
Super high energy. Totally different from Samba, but just as captivating. Then you've got Salvador,
Oh, so
where the streets just pulse with axe music
I've heard of that.
and these huge sound trucks called trios electricos
Oh, yeah, they're massive.
pumping out tunes as they weave through the city. It's a party that spills out everywhere.
Sounds amazing.
And Salvador's carnival is all about improvisation.
Okay, so less structured.
Less structured, more spontaneous.
Just pure joy.
Pure, uninhibited joy.
I love it. So we've got Rio, Recife, Salvador, each one totally unique.
But all connected by this thread of vibrant eccentricity, that spirit of freedom, and a deep connection to Brazilian culture and history.
It's really remarkable when you think about it.
It is. And we've only just scratched the surface. We haven't even touched on how Carnival acts as a platform for social commentary, like a space to critique everything from political systems to historical injustices.
Oh, wow. That adds a whole other layer to it. I'm intrigued.
Yeah, there's a lot more to unpack here, but we'll dive deeper into that next time.
Can't wait.
So stay tuned for part 2 of our deep dive into Brazilian Carnival.
Okay, so we were talking about Carnival as a platform for social commentary.
Yeah, it's wild, right? This
Yeah.
party with all the costumes and music and everything.
It's a powerful combination.
It really is. Like, our sources point to the Samba schools as prime examples.
Oh, yeah,
They
definitely.
use their platform, that moment in the spotlight, to address some serious issues.
They don't shy away from anything.
Racial inequality, environmental concerns, political corruption.
It's like they're making a statement.
A big statement.
And they do it with such incredible creativity. It's not just about shouting slogans. It's about weaving these messages into their music, their costumes, their floats.
It's like art with a message.
Exactly. Art that makes you think. Art that moves you. Art that stays with you. And remember, Samba itself emerged from struggle and resistance, right?
Right, it was born in those marginalized communities.
As a way to express joy and resilience.
In the face of, like, real adversity.
Exactly. So it makes sense that it continues to be a voice for those who are often silenced, a tool for challenging injustice.
Okay, but how does this actually play out? Like, what kind of themes have they explored recently that really hit home?
Well, just look at the 2020 Carnival. Several Samba schools tackled racial equality head-on.
Wow, so they're not afraid to go there.
Nope. They're using this platform to spark dialogue and maybe even inspire some real lasting change. Some even incorporated imagery and stories from Afro-Brazilian history and mythology into their performances, reclaiming their heritage on a national stage.
It's powerful stuff.
And it's not just racial equality. Other schools focused on environmental issues, like the destruction of the Amazon rainforest.
Yeah, that's a huge issue.
One school even designed their floats to look like endangered animals, making a powerful visual statement.
So they're saying, hey, we're here to party, but we're also here to make you think, to make you care.
Exactly. It's a reminder that Carnival is a reflection of Brazilian society with all its complexities and challenges.
That brings us to the street carnival.
Oh, yeah. The street carnival are
They're more spontaneous, very democratic.
Anyone can jump in.
Our sources emphasize that organic energy, that collective participation.
It's a raw, unfiltered joy that you don't get in the more formalized settings.
Like the energy just erupts from the ground up.
It's fueled by the collective spirit of the people.
And it's not just limited to one type of music or one style of celebration.
It's a true melting pot.
A fusion of different sounds, traditions, expressions.
You've got blocos, those informal street bands, for every taste.
From traditional groups playing classic samba tunes to newer ones influenced by, like, everything.
Rock, pop, funk, you name it.
And the costumes are just as diverse.
Reflecting the creativity and individuality of the people.
So while the Samba school parades are these grand spectacles with social commentary,
The street carnivals are all about pure joy and collective expression.
two sides of the same coin, but both essential to the full carnival experience.
Precisely. And what's fascinating is how both forms, despite their differences, contribute to this incredible sense of unity and sharing,
Like for a few days, people from all walks of life just go
shedding their emotions.
celebrating life in its messy, joyous, sometimes challenging.
It's a powerful reminder that even in the midst of all the complexities of life, there's still a place for collective joy and sharing.
That feeling of connection, shared experience, what does it mean? Like what happens when you take this temporary subversion of social norms, this explosion of creativity and freedom,
that.
and try to bring it back into everyday life? Does it stick?
That's the question, isn't it? And that leads us right into what makes Carnival so intriguing. Its lasting impact.
Ooh, the suspense is killing me.
Does this temporary utopia actually spark any lasting change? Or is it just a fleeting moment of magic? We'll explore those questions and more when we come back for the final part of our deep dive.
All right, so are we ready to tackle this big question about Carnival's lasting impact?
Let's do it. It's a tough one, though. Like, does this temporary utopia actually lead to real change?
It would be amazing if it did.
Right. But it's also possible that it's just this, like, cathartic release.
A pressure valve, like you let off steam and then
Yeah, and then it's back to reality.
back to the daily grind.
Exactly. Some people definitely see it that way.
Okay, so that's one perspective.
But there's another side, too, you know? Some folks believe that Carnival, with all its social critique and, like, blurring of boundaries, actually plants seeds for change.
Like those glimpses of a more egalitarian, expressive society, they kind of linger.
Maybe they prompt people to question things, to push for something better.
It's hopeful, right? Like those seeds of possibility.
Exactly. And even if we don't always see immediate, tangible change, there's no denying the power of Carnival's message.
It reminds us that we need connection, we need joy, we need creative expression.
And that we shouldn't be afraid to challenge the norms that try to stifle those things.
Okay, let's talk about those street carnivals again.
Yeah.
The Blocos, they really embody that spirit, right?
Absolutely. Like, remember that Bloco das Carmelitas in Olinda?
Oh yeah, that one has some serious history.
It's like a living link to Carnival's past.
And then you have all these new Blocos popping up, reflecting current trends and movements.
It's not just about preserving the past, it's about building on it, creating something new.
And that's what makes them so cool. They're this awesome blend of heritage and modern expression.
And they're all about accessibility, participation.
Anyone can join, no matter who they are.
It's just pure joy, collective expression.
Sounds amazing, like a real utopia.
It's a powerful testament to the unifying force of celebration, that's for sure.
So maybe the magic of Carnival isn't about finding a definitive answer to its impact, you know? Maybe it's about embracing the questions, the possibilities.
That's a great way to put it.
It's a reminder that even when things feel divided, we still have this incredible capacity for connection, for joy, for creative expression.
You've got it. And Carnival just brings all of that to the forefront.
It challenges us, makes us think, reminds us of how vibrant and complex human society really is.
I think that's a perfect way to wrap up our deep dive into
A wild ride.